Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away. You know what, last week we did a week of cars. This week it seems we're doing figurines, and yesterday we did the bike. Lots of variety on this channel, isn't there? But today I'm going to be doing the next 3 stages of the Fanhome release of Build E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So I'm guessing in this stage we're going to be continuing this gearbox motor here, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to test it on the eyes. I think we are, so that's good. But we have only got 3 stages, so I don't know if that's the norm for this build or if we're going to get 4 stages eventually. I've got no idea. But if you do want to get this for yourself, I'll put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. Now today we did get a free gift, which I absolutely love. Now I've already spoke to Mrs. Welder Wayne on this gift because one of these is going to go up in the lounge. Can you believe that? She's let me put something up in the lounge. We got some prints. So this is the first one, looking like that. She said this one can't go up in the lounge because she doesn't like blurred backgrounds. As you see, it's blurred in the background there. Then the other 2 is a toss up which one we're going to be putting up. So I liked this one. This one would have been a brilliant one to put up, which is Gertie and E.T. together. But we've both decided that the star of the show is Henry Thomas as Elliot. So that's why we are going to be putting up the 3rd one that we get, which looks just like that. So that's the one that I think I'm going to have in the wall in the lounge. But we do get 3 prints here. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with the other 2. But they do come in this nice sleeve, as you can see here. But we're going to hopefully get this engine working. Getting this motor working. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So here you go, this is stage 6, and here is the magazine. As I said, all the magazines are collection items in themselves, and we are putting some more gears into that motor, and it looks like we are now going to seal the motor. We do get to test it, so we get to see whatever the motor is going to be doing. I've got no idea. We'll have to see when we actually activate that. I like electric stages, and this is the rest of the magazine. Okay. So here is stage 6. Let me get everything open and lined up. Now what I do like about this stage is they do give us a little packet of grease, which is going to help lube up these gears, as you can see here. But what I need to do is just bring over this motor case with the gears we've already placed in it. Now once again, I've got a pin here just to put into that point just there. Another gear, and I want the crown to be sitting on top. This just goes into this socket here. And then finally this gear here with the lip section here facing upwards, that's just going to go in here like this to make sure that they now are all joined together. Now I need to lube up all of these gears, so give me some time because I am going to take some time on this to ensure that I've got grease all over this without getting it on myself. What I'm actually doing is I've taken the motor just out for a second so I can put all of this over these gears. Very sticky stuff. I have got a cloth here so I can rotate these round to ensure that they are completely and utterly covered. And believe me, it's all on my all on my hands at the moment. I wouldn't be afraid to go too much on the grease there, but yeah, I'll put a lot on. There is a lot of grease on those bits. Just going to put the motor back on. And then where the motor touches the grease, I'm going to put a blob of grease on there as well. Can never have too much grease. Okay, I'm now going to be putting the top of the motor on. My fingers are very greasy now. This is going to go on this way. I need to make sure that these holes house those pins like that. I have now cleaned up my hands. Take these screws out, turn it over, and we've got 3 holes there to secure these in with these black screws. So one here, I'm going to use my bigger screwdriver, one on this side, and finally one just down the bottom there. All that's left to do then is to put the eye wheel on this way round. It goes onto the hexagonal shaft we got there. So I'm just going to push that on, and I'm wiggling it because it does need to go all the way down on there like that. Bring over ET, and on the bottom here, I'm going to be putting this into place. So I want to ensure that this white section is in the center because that's where this lug from the eye control goes in the motor. Then drop the motor in place like that. So that's going to fit flush in there. I want to take 2 of these screws to hold that in. So that's one that side and one this side, holding that from the bottom as I'm screwing that. I am just going to take this faceplate off now because I want to be able to see the eyes. Now, even though that they do a blink like that, I want to be able to see the eyes moving. So now I can put in the battery pack. So I'm just going to plug in these pins to the corresponding holes. So with that in place, if I just open these eyes so we can see and turn this on. There you go. That's how that's looking. Pretty cool. It is quite noisy. I don't know if you can hear that. If you have a look at this here, this is how the actual eye stalk is working there in the middle. But even with all that grease, the motor does still make a sound. I think what I'm going to do, let me just put the cover on so we can get an idea of how that looks. Kind of like that. If I turn it back on again, there you go. And I can make him blink. Okay, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 7 here, this is the magazine. Have a flick through, and we've got a eyelid servo motor now. So we are going to be having the eyelids blinking rather than me do it manually. So putting this over the top here, and then that's in position. I think this is just the cradle for that servo. I'm not sure exactly what this is. This just looks like a plate, but we'll put this in and see how it looks. And again, this is the rest of the magazine. I've just looked at the last stage of this pack, and we do have another motor. So I'm guessing we're going to be putting the motor in this section. So the way this goes, we've got 2 lugs here, 2 at the back. The 2 are going to go on this one, which means the backs go on this one here. So this is going to fit in just like that there. Now we have got these black screws again to hold this into place. And it's going to take 4 of these screws. So let me get all of these in. I do like how much engineering we've already had to put into this head area. Just so we can get the eyes to move and blink. Great. And there you go. That's in place. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in the final stage of this pack, stage 8, here's the magazine. And as you can see, we do have a motor and some gears in this one. We are going to be putting the gears into place. I'm guessing we're going to be putting a little bit more grease on that. That's what this symbol here is for. Putting the motor in, sealing it down. Doesn't say we can test it. I hope we can. I don't think we can, but there you go. That's the end of that stage. So let's open stage 8 and get all of these parts out. Now I want to bring over what we were working on previously, and I want to put 1 pin into this hole just there. And we've got 2 gears on this one. It's this one that I want with the lip side of it facing up. That's going to go over that pin now. The second pin goes into the hole next to it. And then again, I've got this gear where I want the crown section to be facing down. Like that. And once again, I want to smother this in grease. It's a very mucky job, this is. But I'm not going to get any more grease onto that section. I want to take the motor, and this is already going to be covered in grease when I put it in. Drop it in like that with the wires facing at the top there. And then I've got the motor case going on top. Now what I want to do is just feed that through the hole here. And then line that up into position. Just like that. Get some screws. And it's 3 screws in here to hold this into place. So 1 there. 1 here. And 1 on this side just down the bottom. Now this motor isn't connected to anything at the moment, so there's nothing wrong with me testing it to ensure that this is actually revolving round in here. So I am going to do that. Let me just plug the like wires in again, just to ensure that that motor isn't pinched or impeded, and this is turning in there like that. Now I'm guessing that we're going to have some sort of system going over the top of this, which is going to link to this section here, and then as you can see, that's going to enable the eyes to blink. But with that in place, motor's all working. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. You know what, having that grease in the pack really did make things a lot easier, but this is what it's looking like at the moment. Look, he looks half asleep there. Let's open him up a bit. But we have got the eyes now moving. I think in the next pack we're probably going to be having this blink effect working as well. But looking good, isn't it? And that gives you an idea of size. As a matter of fact, compared to a little toy ET, which I've got here, it's a lot bigger, isn't it? Once again, if you do want to get this for yourself, I've put a link in the video description. There's a QR code on the screen, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.